Hey everybody, it's Ann from What's Up Homestead, and I'm going to do some canning tonight and thought I'd bring you along. I am going to do something I haven't done before, and that is I'm going to raw pack some roasts. I'm going to cut them into cubes, and I've got 4 roasts, and I'm going to put them in pints. The big pints instead of quarts, because seems like the pints, it might feed 2 people, but just barely. So I'm going to try the pints this time. And it's so simple. You just cut the beef up into cubes, put a teaspoon of salt in the jars, put your beef in there, no liquid, no anything, just the beef and the salt, and put it in your canner. So I'm going to finish cutting up the beef, and I'll show you what's next after I'm done with that. Okay, I have my beef cut up, and I'm going to set you down here. I've got my jar. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt because it's a quart. If it was a pint, I would just put a half. So I'm going to put the teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to pack the jar. I'm not going to mash them down. I'm just going to fill it lightly. Just make sure it's all filled up. And I give it the correct headspace. Just kind of looking, make sure there's not a whole lot of big gaps in there. That looks good. Let's back you up so you can see this. So that's what it looks like. It's just beef and salt, and that's it. And I'll fill up the rest of the jars, and I'll show you what comes next. Okay, so now I'm going to take a vinegar soaked rag, and I'm going to run it around the top of the jars to get any kind of residue off, so I can get a good seal. I had 4 roasts, and it gave me 5 jars. So now I'm just going to put the lids on. Put the lids. And put the rings on. I don't put them on really tight, but I don't put them on really loose either. They say finger tight, but I just go a little bit further than that. I don't crank it on like really tight, but you don't want it too loose. Okay, so there are my jars, and I'm going to put them in the canner. My jars are cold, so my canner is cold, and I put 12 cups of water in there. And I forgot to put the rack down. You need to have the rack so the jars do not sit on the pan, so they're not on the direct heat. So I'm gonna sit them just around in a circle, probably 4, and then I'm gonna put the one in the middle. And I'm going to put the lid on, and I'll show you what you do next. Okay, we're back, and I turned the burner on high. I've got cold jars and a cold pot, so I'm going to heat it up. It's going to come up to a boil, and when it does, there's going to be steam coming out of there. So as soon as the steam comes out, and a real steady stream, not just a little bit, it needs to be a good steady stream of steam, and we'll let the steam come out for 10 minutes. And on these are quarts. So the other ones I've canned were pints, and they were 75 minutes, but this is going to be 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So we're going to start the 10 minutes first. You don't combine the 90 minutes. It's 10 minutes of steaming, and then we'll put it up to pressure, and then it'll be for 90 minutes. And while I was putting on my lids, I don't know if you could see it in the video, but it was a used lid, so I had to take it off and replace it. Do not ever reuse a lid. You can reuse the rings until they have rust on them, and then you can throw them away, but don't ever reuse a lid. Okay, we're back, and it's steam came out for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to put my weight on. This is 5 pounds, and this ring makes it 5 more pounds. That's 10 pounds. And for my area in North Carolina, it's 10 pounds of pressure for my recipe. So I'm going to put it on right here, and you will see this gauge go up to 10 pounds. When it goes to 10 pounds, you should see the weight rock back and forth. And as soon as it gets up to 10 pounds of pressure, I'm going to set my timer for 90 minutes, and I'm not going to touch it. And I'm going to watch and make sure that it stays at 10. It can go over a little bit, but you don't want it to go too far. But you do not want it to go under 10, or you'll have to start all over again. So now it's slowly going up. And I'll come back when it gets close, because I can go in the living room and wait. And as soon as I hear that rock back and forth, I know that I'm around 10 pounds, and I'll come and start my timer. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, we're a little bit around 11, and it just started jiggling. So I'm going to put in 90 minutes. Well, not kitchen timer. I hit the microwave. Okay, 90 minutes. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit and make sure that when I do lower it, that this doesn't go under 10. So I'm just going to keep lowering it just slowly, just to make sure it doesn't get too far away from 10. And I'm glad to have my big burner. I have been trying to get it fixed, and finally my husband fixed it. I've been using the small burner on this big canner, and it's taken forever, but now I get my big burner back, and now it's heating just a little bit too high. So I've got it down to 8, and we'll see how that goes. You see it's like it's 12. And I don't get scared, because I think it's going to blow up. This little gasket right there will blow out if it ever got too high. It's already backing down just a little bit. So I'm just going to move it to between the 8 and the 7. And just see how far it goes. As soon as it gets down to about 11, I'll stop. Okay, I'll back it down a little bit more, and I'll come back and show you when the 90 minutes is over. And I want to show you, this is what came with my canner. It did not come with the weight. It came with this. This is basically a 15-pound weight. So when you put that on there, you have to go by this gauge. And you have to get it tested every single year. And instead of doing that, I just got the weight. And when you use the weight, you can just, it'll jiggle. You don't even have to have this. So I just use it as a guide, but as long as I know this thing has got 10 pounds on it and it's jiggled, I know that it's right. You even have some of the canners like this that just have the weight and it doesn't even have the gauge on it. And you don't need it. So those are really inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them in your local hardware store. Just a lifesaver. That way you don't have to go and have that tested. And you can also get your other equipment there on Amazon. That's where I got this. But you can also go to your local hardware store and they usually carry all the things that you need, even a replacement for that. So just a tip for you. So I'm going to come back in 84 minutes and show you what everything looks like. When the timer stopped at 90 minutes, I took it off the heat, and that's all I've done. It's almost at the end. It says 0, but that little thing back here, it's still up. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. Don't know what the technical term is, but when it goes down, then I'll be able to take off the lid. So when that goes down, I'll take the weight off and then I'll open it up. But I'll wait 10 minutes before I take the lid off. So we'll just wait for that little thing to come down, and that tells you for sure that it's safe. So as soon as that goes down, wait 10 minutes and I'll come back. Okay, time was up. I waited 10 minutes. I opened up the canner and let's see what we have. Okay, looks pretty good. Still bubbling away in the jar. Already sealing. It's a good thing. Just 2 of them. Okay, there's 5 jars of beef, and I can put that on my shelf and it'll last at least a year, probably even more on the shelf. Let me turn this off. And it wasn't hard at all. If I can do it, believe me, anybody can. But that way, if the power goes off, I can have meals that I can open up, and I can light my fire back there in my fire pit and heat it up and have dinner. And I'll add that to my shelf. And hopefully I can get my back room cleaned up a little bit, and I can show you all my canned goods that are back there one day. But this is how I can beef. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll like my videos and subscribe to my channel, because I'll have more canning videos. I'll have more gardening videos to come. So I hope you stick around and watch some other videos. And I will see you later. Hey guys, I thought I would come back the next day and show you what they look like. They've got a little bit of grease still in there, but that's okay. They'll still be good for at least 12 to 18 months on my shelf. I'll probably use them a little bit faster since they have a little bit of the grease, and the thicker the grease I think is on there is the one that I'll use first. But They're all sealed, so everything looks good. In a little bit, I will take the rings off. I'll wash the jars, and I will write what it is on there and put them on my shelf, and they'll be good to go. So I hope it helps, and I hope you start to can, because it's very simple. It's very convenient to have this on the shelf, and you can just make some rice with it or some mashed potatoes. You can thicken the broth with some cornstarch and have a very quick meal. Very inexpensive if you get it on sale. I got these roasts on sale for a little bit over, well, $3.49 a pound. So when I see that at the store, I go and I get like 4 of them. And I make sure I try to get the ones with the least amount of fat. It's a little bit easier to have the ones with the less fat, because it's kind of hard to cut through those little grooves in the meat. But it's totally worth it to have a fresh meal in minutes. So I hope you try this, because it's very simple. As soon as you get over the fear of the canner, I think, as soon as I did that, I started using it more and more. And the more I use it, the easier it gets. So I hope this helps you, and I hope you start canning.